to our channel. So fans, today is a truly magnificent day to dive deep into the scandalous, twisted, and utterly unpredictable world of Genoa City. Grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and prepare yourselves, because the drama we are unpacking today is nothing short of explosive. We have a lot of ground to cover, so let us jump right into the madness. Imagine looking directly into the eyes of the very monster who ruthlessly tortured your family, the sadistic mastermind who nearly killed your ex-husband, and instead of running away screaming, you lean in with a seductive smile and pull him into a passionate kiss. That is exactly the terrifying, electrifying, and profoundly dangerous reality that Phyllis Summers is currently living right now in Genoa City. In a plot twist that feels ripped straight from a psychological thriller, Phyllis is not just harboring a fugitive, she is actively sleeping with the enemy. Matt Clark, the man who has inflicted unspeakable trauma upon the Newman family, is currently a blank slate, and Phyllis is holding the chalk. It is a game of Russian roulette where the chamber is fully loaded, and Phyllis is gleefully spinning the cylinder. To truly understand this breathtaking descent into absolute madness, we have to meticulously examine the suffocating corner that Phyllis has been violently backed into. Victor Newman, in his endless quest for total dominance, has utilized a highly advanced, deeply illegal artificial intelligence programmed to fabricate an airtight dossier of damning evidence against her. He has essentially framed Phyllis for corporate espionage and theft, threatening her with years in federal prison unless she signs over the Summers conglomerate. With District Attorney Christine Blair Romalotti, her eternal and bitter rival, salivating at the prospect of finally putting her behind bars, Phyllis is a desperate woman staring down the barrel of total annihilation. She needs a miracle, a weapon of mass destruction to use against the mustache, and fate delivered one right to the bar of the Genoa City Athletic Club in the form of an amnesiac Matt Clark. Matt Clark is entirely devoid of his memories, a direct result of a brutal encounter in the Nevada desert where Cian of a Cole struck him over the head with a rock in a desperate act of self-defense. He does not know his name, his past, or the horrifying trail of blood and tears he has left in his wake. Recognizing the ultimate opportunity, Phyllis has swiftly moved him into a private, luxurious suite at the GCAC, isolating him from the outside world. But she is not merely hiding him, she is executing a masterclass in psychological manipulation. Phyllis is using her lethal charm to seduce Matt, wrapping him in a cocoon of manufactured affection and tender care. She is methodically building a foundation of absolute, unquestioning trust, positioning herself as his sole protector in a city she claims is filled with ruthless enemies who want to destroy him. The sheer audacity of Phyllis's manipulation is breathtaking to witness. Inside the quiet confines of that hotel suite, she is weaving a beautiful, tragic tapestry of fake memories for Matt to absorb. She speaks to him with a soft, loving cadence, hinting at a profound, star-crossed romance that they supposedly shared before his tragic accident. She feeds him carefully constructed lies about how much they meant to each other, how they were a team against the world, and how his current amnesia is just a temporary hurdle in their epic love story. Matt, desperate for an anchor in the terrifying wood of his mind, is swallowing every single lie hook, line, and sinker. He looks at Phyllis with adoration and profound gratitude, completely unaware that the woman stroking his hair is actually a venomous spider spinning a deadly web around him. However, as much as Phyllis might enjoy the twisted thrill of controlling a dangerous predator, this seduction is entirely transactional. She is not playing house for fun, she is hunting for the ultimate leverage. Phyllis knows exactly who Matt Clark is and the specific horrors he has orchestrated. More importantly, she knows that Matt is the direct source of the tainted fentanyl that nearly killed Nick Newman in Las Vegas. That specific batch of lethal narcotics sent Nick spiraling into a catastrophic overdose, and subsequently led to Victor Newman taking the extreme, highly illegal measure of kidnapping his own son to force him into a brutal, isolated rehab at the Newman Ranch. If Phyllis can find the smoking gun connecting Matt to that fentanyl, she holds the keys to the kingdom. The true tension of this storyline emerges in the quiet, heart-pounding moments when Matt's guard is finally down. When Matt drifts off to sleep, lulled into a false sense of security by Phyllis's fake affection, or when he steps into the shower, the loving facade instantly drops from Phyllis's face, replaced by the cold, calculating glare of a seasoned spy. With adrenaline coursing through her veins, she begins to frantically yet meticulously search through his belongings. She is tearing through his pockets, examining the linings of his bags, and searching for hidden compartments. She is looking for anything, a burner phone, a cryptic receipt, a hidden ledger, or physical remnants of the drug transactions that can definitively prove he was the architect of Nick's fentanyl nightmare. Every second she spends digging is a second she risks being caught by a waking psychopath. Phyllis's focus on the fentanyl connection is a stroke of strategic genius, deeply rooted in the complex history of these characters. Matt Clark did not just give Nick drugs, he weaponized Nick's addiction to destroy him from the inside out. A continuation of the sadistic torture he previously inflicted upon Sharon and Nick years ago. The fact that Nick is currently suffering in agonizing, forced isolation because of Matt's actions makes this evidence the holy grail. Victor Newman is currently operating under the delusion that he has contained the threat by locking Nick away, but if Phyllis can present undeniable proof that Matt Clark is alive, in her custody, and responsible for the poisoning of the Newman heir, she can force Victor to drop all the AI-fabricated charges against her in an instant. She is gathering the ammunition to blow Victor's entire plot out of the water. But Phyllis is too smart to rely solely on whatever scraps she finds in Matt's pockets. While maintaining the illusion of a devoted lover, she is also discreetly reaching out to her network of underground contacts and utilizing her formidable hacking skills. She is cross-referencing the cryptic messages or numbers she finds on Matt's burner phone, verifying the timeline of his movements in Las Vegas, and tracing the origin of the tainted fentanyl batch. She is building an airtight, irrefutable dossier of Matt's crimes. Every time she smiles at Matt and hands him a cup of coffee, she is secretly calculating the exact weight of the evidence she has compiled against him. It is a high-stakes balancing act of espionage and romance, and Phyllis is conducting it with the precision of a maestro leading a symphony of destruction. Let us take a moment to be completely honest about Phyllis Summers. She is, without a doubt, one of the most brilliant, terrifying, and endlessly fascinating characters to ever grace our screens. Her survival instinct is unmatched, bordering on the supernatural. Is it deeply disturbing that she is willing to sleep with a man who terrorized her loved ones just to save her own skin? Absolutely. It is morally reprehensible and incredibly dark. But as a viewer, you simply cannot look away. Phyllis operates in a gray area where the ends always justify the means. You have to admire her sheer audacity and the breathtaking courage it takes to lock yourself in a room with a monster and decide that you are going to be the one pulling the strings. She is the ultimate survivor, a phoenix who will burn the entire city to the ground just to rise from the ashes. On the other side of this twisted dynamic, we have Matt Clark. Honestly, it is incredibly jarring and somewhat satisfying to see this historical antagonist reduced to a pathetic, malleable pawn. Matt has spent years operating as a sadistic mastermind, manipulating the Newman family, tormenting Sharon, and orchestrating complex games of psychological warfare. Seeing him now, stripped of his malicious intellect, staring at Phyllis with puppy dog eyes, and believing her every word, is poetic justice of the highest order. The master manipulator is being masterfully manipulated. However, there is an underlying current of dread whenever he is on screen, because we all know the monster is still in there, slumbering beneath the surface of his amnesia, just waiting for a single spark to wake him up. The climax of Phyllis's grand design is rapidly approaching. She is not planning to keep Matt as a pet forever. She is meticulously preparing for the ultimate betrayal. Once she has verified every piece of evidence, once the dossier is complete and her leverage over Victor is absolute, she is going to drop the hammer. She is waiting for the perfect, most devastating moment to rip the mask off and reveal to Matt exactly who she is and what she has done. She plans to use him to secure her freedom, completely indifferent to the fact that she will be throwing him to the wolves, or rather, to the Newmans and the Genoa City Police Department. Phyllis believes this betrayal is an absolute necessity for her survival, a necessary evil to escape the federal prison sentence Victor has unjustly designed for her. What makes this storyline so incredibly compelling is the massive shockwave this betrayal will cause when the truth finally comes to light. How will Nick Newman react when he eventually escapes his forced rehab and discovers that Phyllis, his former wife, was intimately sharing a bed with a man who poisoned him with fentanyl? It will be a profound psychological blow, a betrayal that might permanently sever whatever lingering bond they share. And what about Victor Newman? The sheer humiliation of realizing that Phyllis outmaneuvered him by capturing the one man he wants dead more than anyone else will be monumental. Phyllis's plan is going to cause immense collateral damage, fracturing relationships and forcing everyone to confront the dark, ugly reality of what she is willing to do to survive. So, what is going to happen next in this dangerous game of cat and mouse? Here is my prediction. Phyllis is playing with fire, and she is inevitably going to get burned. As she pushes Matt to remember specific details about the fentanyl to solidify her evidence, she is going to accidentally trigger a genuine memory. I predict that right as Phyllis is preparing to spring her trap and make her grand demand to Victor, Matt's amnesia is going to crack. He will suddenly remember who he is, who she is, and the horrifying realization that he has been played for a fool. The dynamic in that GC C-suite will instantly shift from a controlled manipulation into a deadly, claustrophobic hostage situation, with Phyllis suddenly trapped in a room with a fully awakened, vengeful psychopath. The countdown to disaster has officially begun, and Phyllis Summers is standing at ground zero with a match in her hand, ready to ignite a scandal that will change Genoa City forever. Do you think Phyllis's seductive trap is a stroke of absolute genius, or is she making a fatal mistake that will cost her everything? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and do not forget to share this article with your fellow Y&R dicks so we can all debate this explosive storyline together.